Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wildfire and Earth. My name is Bradley, and today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading for the Autumnal Equinox. The Autumnal Equinox is coming for the Northern Hemisphere, so I wanted to do a quick pick a card reading to help us understand what energies are coming in, what energies are moving through this time right now, and what energies we'll be working with during the season of autumn, or fall, as some people call it. Now, equinox gets its name from the word equal, which means equal parts light and equal parts dark. So you may be going through a lot of periods of shadow work right now, where you're realizing that you can't just be love and light and roses all the time. Sometimes it's important to draw boundaries. Sometimes it's important to say no. Saying yes too often leaches your energy. And some people want to constantly be the giver and the healer, but they forget those moments where it's time for self-care and it's time to give back. Autumn is a season to remember that, because we can look at nature and look at the trees and learn beautiful lessons that nothing in nature is ever in bloom year-round. So it is okay to have periods of rest. It is okay to have periods of where you're not sure where to go and you need to go to planning and back to the drawing board. And there's even times when you need to assess and see if you need to move into a new direction, continue as you're going on, or completely change 180 degrees and do something different. So those energies are moving in through autumnal equinox right now. Okay, so I have already shuffled the decks and pulled out some piles here. So if you are drawn to pile number 1, which is represented by this cute little squirrel and his nuts, that's what all the squirrels around here are scrambling to get all their nuts collected, and the last nuts for winter. And I don't think we're going to have a very harsh winter down here in the south of North America, but it doesn't change the animal's behavior. So as you all know, frost might be moving in and all that stuff, so we're being reminded of a softness. So I also chose Mona Lisa as well, who is known for her soft smile and her gentle beauty and grace and enigmatic presence. So if you're drawn to Mona Lisa, that's pile number 2. And lastly, for pile number 3, we have dried rosemary. Dried rosemary is a herb and spice used in a lot of cooking in autumn and winter, especially for the holidays. You can't season very many dishes for Thanksgiving without using some rosemary and thyme. Also, if you're hearing the parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme song, this might be the pile for you. That's just Spirit's way of talking to you and letting you know that there's a message here. And also, rosemary is about protection and fire. And so it's also linked to a lot of the fire gods and goddesses of Celtic mythology. So like Brigitte, if you're drawn to Brigitte or Cernunnos, that might be the pile for you. So I want to just give you a moment to clear your mind, and I will sage while we're doing this just to clear your mind, and then we'll go ahead and start with pile number 1. Remember, all of the timestamps are down below, and all of the decks that I use, including my new deck, Nature's True Oracle, by myself, Bradley Scott Philpott, and Gustavo Alba, which will be available Halloween 2020. It's going to be featured in my video today. I think this is its world premiere for everyone to see the deck in action and see how it works. So I'm really excited to do that today, but be sure to check out the links in the description for all the other decks that I'm using and support those artists and oracle creators as well. All right, so let's take a moment to sage, to center ourselves. Call upon your deity, your spirit guides, or your angels and ancestors if you prefer, to speak to you about which deck, which pile, number 1, the squirrel, number 2, Mona Lisa, or number 3, rosemary, has a message for you. All right. Let's go ahead and start with pile number 1. Hello, pile one, or the squirrel pile, as your symbol was. We'll set him over here so he can guard over our reading and help us reap and gather all of the good information that Spirit has to offer us. As I was shuffling these cards, the Four of Wands, freedom, jumped out. So there are some fire energies that we're going to be using for the theme of all of the readings. So this is kind of symbolizing how you can gain freedom. This autumn equinox energy doesn't want you tied up in any karmic contracts. It doesn't want you tied up in any abusive or narcissistic situations. It wants you moving forward. It wants you coming from a space of your own power. So this is very sacral chakra oriented, moving from a place of power, okay? So moving into your true purpose and not needing anyone else to do that. This autumnal equinox is very important because we have huge energies coming from Saturn and Jupiter, along with Venus and Mars. And then there's just so many different planets that are aligning to really push this energy of freedom. And Aquarian energies are very strong right now, as well as we're coming into the equinox and shifting into the later half of 2020. So it's very important to remember that freedom is what's on the agenda. Okay, and so that can mean many things for you. That can mean politically, that can mean in your personal life, that can mean worldwide, that can mean in your community or even at your business. Okay, so just remember when you're looking at readings like these, take what resonates and then let go of the rest. Don't get stumbled if it doesn't perfectly work for you. Listen to all of the readings if you need to, or just the one that you feel drawn to. Sometimes you're drawn to one or two. Watch them both. Watch them in a different order if you feel drawn to that, okay? So reading number one, the squirrel, I keep wanting to call it squirrel patch. I don't know why, but the squirrel patch here, the first card out for you is the heart chakra. Okay, so this is all about learning to do things for yourself out of love for self. Okay, because your heart chakra has everything to do with self-love and self-care. So that's why the squirrel was coming to you today, because I feel like you've been working so hard to support everyone else, take care of everyone else, make sure everyone else has their share, make sure everyone else is getting their fill at the table, and you might have been cutting yourself short. So you're running low on energy. You're not doing very well in the heart center. It's almost gotten unbalanced is what I'm feeling. But you see here how the green kind of comes out and really, oh, it's a little blurry. Come on now. There we go. You see how the green here, I love this beautiful artwork by Gustavo Alba. It was such a blessing to work on this oracle deck because it's just so evocative of emotions and energies. And each card is a fractalization of an image he found out in nature. So what I want you to really focus on this is the green is guarding and protecting this center diamond here that is glowing in light. So this is your heart chakra. That is your pure essence. That's where all harmony and renewal and strength comes from for you. And you've been outpouring a lot, okay? That's what this is telling me right now. Now, I also have on here for all of the chakra cards in my Nature's True Oracle, a hertz, which corresponds with a binaural beats or different tones that you can use to align your heart chakra. So there are plenty of videos you can find here on YouTube to do that. So just like search 606 Hertz heart chakra, and that will bring up a ton of videos. Pick the one that resonates with you. You might have to listen to a few before you find one that really, gets you, okay? But I would caution you in picking one that is like too light and airy. Pick one that almost kind of irritates you a little bit, not a lot, right? Just a little bit, because something in your heart chakra is out of balance. right now. And this autumnal equinox is wanting to come in and show you where that imbalance is, okay? So the reason I'm telling you to pick one of the binaural beats or tones to listen to that kind of gets on your nerves just a little bit is because that is resonating with that imbalance. And it's showing you the dissonance. So you're actually wanting to align to that 606 hertz and that heart chakra. And so after a few listens, you might find that it's very soothing now. It's soothing once you've done the work, right? And so that's how energy and sound frequency healing works. It's very similar with oils. You know, if you're working with oils, there are several oils that go for the heart chakra. I can't remember any off the top of my head. That is not my bailiwick. But the oils, I know whenever you're using the essential oils, if you smell one and it kind of bothers you or is like you don't like it, you know, it's just like, ooh, I don't like that smell. It's actually because you need it, okay? And so the mantra for you for the next 90 days is going to be, I love, okay? And this can come out in any forms. It can mean, I love you, realizing that the person you're with is truly the person you love, and to surrender and stop fighting it. It could be, I love myself, and that means I love myself enough to get out of this situation. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward. I've given all the energy I can. I don't have any more. Or it is, I love my job, or I love this, or I love doing this. And sometimes that means leaving a job that you find security in and you find stability, but no love, no passion, right? Because the Four of Wands is our theme, and freedom. And what fills you up? What sets fire to your soul? That's very important to remember. So we stayed a long time on this card. It's very important that you guys work on your heart chakra during this time. And I'm also reminded of the trees in autumn, how they go, you know, inward. They move all of their energy inward. So, you know, throughout the spring and the summer, they're moving outward and they're growing and they're bursting, right? Well, during the autumn, they move inward. So that's what's directing you here. So now we have 3 tarot cards too, because this is the energy surrounding you here, your heart chakra. And then this is the internal struggle that you're dealing with. Now we have 3 major arcana cards are coming up right now. We have, I'll just show you these if I can pick them up. We have the Devil, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess, okay? These are the angels of freedom, the angel of blessings, and the angel of power. All right, so the angel of freedom is coming through with the Four of Wands, freedom as our theme for this reading on the autumnal equinox here. So it's really important for you to start realizing that all the limitations around you, with the Devil card and the angel of freedom here, he's actually taking this off this creature, this beast, right? And some might see this as a demon, right? Or some might see it as a beautiful dragon, a part of God's creation, right? But whatever it is, the angel is coming to remove the shackles, taking them off, okay? And letting them be free. So that means all of the limitations surrounding you are self-imposed. You have the power right here. The Hierophant, this is you. You have the power in your current situation to stand in your own power. You have all the keys here. You are the one holding the key to the very shackles that you think you're trapped in. Okay? And it's all about shifting your perspective. Shifting your perspective. So maybe you might have felt like you were one of these angels down here looking to a leader to do something for you, or looking to, you know, your therapist or your spouse or your boss. But really, Spirit is like, no, you are the person I choose. You are the one who is supposed to be doing the thing. You know, so many times we get caught up in expectations of, well, I can't do this alone. But Spirit is saying, oh, yes, you can. You have every right to do this as independently and as freely as possible. I mean, look at this beautiful Hierophant card here. This is Taurian energy, so it's very beautiful during autumn to have that Taurian energy, the energy of Venus coming through. And I was talking earlier, Venus is in Leo right now, so Venus being in Leo is really important because Venus in Leo is exalted. So that means she really enjoys that fiery passion of the Leo, and she enjoys being the ruler. And this is that you have a magnetic attraction to you that draws people to you so you can lead. And you've been denying that. You've been making excuses. You've been saying, I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I don't have enough certifications. I don't have enough jobs. I don't have the education, right? But Spirit is saying those are excuses. You have everything you need. And then lastly, what you don't have, with the High Priestess coming in, Spirit is saying, I will deliver to you everything you don't have. I will deliver to you everything you need. You have to trust. You have to take a leap of faith, okay? Because the High Priestess here is just the second card. Before it was the Magician and the Fool. So this is still that energy of new beginnings, of newness, of coming into your power, okay? So you might have had thoughts that, oh yeah, I might be able to do this. And Spirit is saying, trust that. Trust yourself, trust your power, and go for it. The only thing that is stopping you is you. There is nothing that you cannot do. There is nothing that you cannot imagine that is not a possibility. Okay, so trust yourself. I mean, and it's not saying that you can't work with others. I'm not saying that at all, because we're going to draw the next card, and it's a card of what angel you need to be working with or deity you need to be calling on to help you out during this time. And it is the angel of joyfulness. Something wondrous and magical is about to happen. So regardless of your circumstances here, what's been weighing down on your heart, you know in this diamond here that something beautiful is coming. This is why you've been paving the way. This is why you've been doing all the hard work. This is why you've been setting your nuts aside and gathering them and storing them for the winter to come, is because there is an opportunity here coming that is wondrous and miraculous. And I'm emotional feeling this card. Like you're about to bloom. You're about to come into your power in a way that you could not have expected. That is very unexpected. That is very different from what you imagined or dreamed. Spirit wants to give you so much more. So much more. So don't limit yourself. Dare to spread your wings and trust. Trust in the divine. Okay? The next card coming through is going to be a beautiful animal spirit. Oh, and we're going to be working with the spirit of raven. Okay, so you might have been seeing crows or ravens. You know, they're a little different regionally. But you've been working on this project or dream or idea for a long time. It's been a long journey, and Spirit has been watching. Spirit has been taking note. Spirit has been patiently waiting as you make progress. And Spirit is about to swoop in and share this message with you. This message of miraculous and wondrous thing about to happen, right? To give you joy again. Because you've been working so hard that you've lost your joy. That's the heart disconnection. You've lost the passion. You've lost the desire to keep fighting. But Raven is saying, don't quit now when you can see the finish line. Don't quit. Don't quit now. You're almost ready. And that's Raven's message. So whenever you feel tired, whenever you feel bogged down, or you're not taking the time for your self-care, call upon Raven. Okay? Call upon Raven's spirit to show you the sparkle again, to show you the higher perspective, to take you into a deeper understanding of the work you've been doing. Raven can help you look back because, you know, Odin used two ravens, Hugin and Munin, and they were thought and memory. So all ravens are archetypes of those two birds of thought and memory. they can kind of take you back and be like the ghost of Christmas past and be like, this is what led you to today. Look what you've triumphed. Look what you've overcome. So as autumn comes into fruition and we move into the autumn season, and as we start moving towards winter, it's time to start giving thanks and giving blessings and gratitude and holding space for new to come in, something joyful and wondrous. A crystal that's going to help you with that is going to be the amethyst. Oh, that's funny. Squirrel coming through. So you might have been feeling a little squirrel-brained, like you're grabbing at straws, trying to get things to finish, trying to get things to come through for you. But amethyst or crystal is coming in. It's 1-7, so that is an 8. But amethyst crystal was thought by the ancient Romans to be a stone of sobriety. They thought you could carry it around and never get drunk. But in reality, what it does is it keeps your mind focused. It keeps your mind centered. It is also really good for anxiety. So if you're having thoughts that are constantly racing, constantly asking, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And you just get so caught up in the what ifs, hold on to some amethyst and look into that deep purple color and remember the promise of God. Remember the promise of Spirit that spoke over you and said, I have a path for you to follow. I have a mission for you to do, and I have a purpose for your life. That's the reminder of the color purple, that you are sovereign as you are. Your calling gives you your power. That is what amethyst is coming here to remind you. So you can carry this with you, or you can keep it under your pillow, where you can tap into some of those subconscious dreams at night that will really help you understand what's truly going on and what's been holding you back. Keep a dream journal, because that amethyst will help you in the morning to recall your dreams. Okay, so carry around amethyst, wear amethyst, even wear the color purple, burn some colored candles, use some lavender incense as well. I'm going to move these up here so you can see these a little better. There we go, because I would definitely want these angels and raven to be in here. Lastly, we're going to check with the Ascended Masters and the Lightworkers from the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and see what a message they have for you as you step into your power and as you move into autumn. What is their message for you? And it is, you are a part of the family of light. 17 again. Okay, guys, you guys might have been noticing 17 or 8s or 888 or the infinity symbol. You've been working on this mission for a long time. And I don't just mean a long time in this life. I mean a long time in many lives. Maybe thousands of years worth of work has been put into this. That's why these guides are here in the back. That's why the blue is there and the many rainbows, because you've worked through so many different layers of this, of understanding this. You've done it on the material plane. You've done it in the etheric. You've done it in your throat chakra, and you're finally coming to the time when you're starting to ascend. You're starting to rise into your power. Okay, this high priestess here, this high priestess energy rising up into the light of true purpose and seeing reality as it is, and the fact that you are in control. Outside forces may have been hanging you up recently, but that was part of the challenge, to remind you of how powerful you are, to remind you of your purpose and why you're here. Because anytime you try to do something for the light or do something for others or for goodness, you better believe that you are going to be met with resistance from the dark side, as it were. They don't want goodness to be here. They don't want happiness. They don't want equality and peace for all. That's not what they want. They want chaos and anger and fear. Okay, so to a lot of the world, you might seem like the crazy one or the eccentric one, or that dream is too far-fetched. But remember, this dream, this purpose is your calling, is your work to do here on the earth. No one could do it like you can. and no one will if you don't. So it's time to step into your power. And remember that you are surrounded by light. You're never alone. That could be why this heart chakra is frustrated, because you might feel like you're, in an ocean of people, yet still feel alone with no connection. It's because so much of your team stayed on the other side for you to support you and guide you. They're there. But because we're on the earth and we're a free will planet, you have to ask them for help. I promise you, the moment you call on the angel of joyfulness and the family of light and raven spirit, things are going to start shifting for you. Lastly, here is your message for daily healing. Let love be your motivation for action. So if you find yourself making decisions out of fear, out of scarcity mentality, or out of anything other than love, that is the wrong move. Your actions should always be motivated by your heart, by your soul's purpose, and by love for yourself, for others, and humanity as a whole. Thank you so much, Pile 1. You guys have been going through it. And I can feel this energy, I can feel this burden, but I can also feel it coming off of you. And your wings finally spreading and finally opening and finally launching into a future that is bright. Just remember, it is very simple. Choose love and believe in yourself. And thank you, Pile 1, or the Squirrel Patch. Thank you, the Squirrel Patch team. I love you guys so much, and I'm sending you all many blessings. Hello, Pile number 2, or my Mona Lisa smile. You guys are going through a period where you're being softened. You're being taught gentleness. I'm actually channeling the energy of deer spirit is what I'm feeling. Now, if you watched Pile 1, if that pile resonated with you, I apologize. But we're going to go back over the 4 of Wands for every pile. So if you're watching every pile, you might get this repeated once or twice. But while I was shuffling the cards, the 4 of Wands popped out, and it is the card of freedom. It is the card of what lights you up, what sets your soul aflame, and what your passion is. It's what pushes you towards your true divine purpose. Now, this is a jumper card that is acting as a theme for all the readings. Excuse me. This group, I'm sensing you might be more soft-spoken. You might have trouble speaking up and really saying what your passion is, but you feel it. You know it. You know it deep inside of you, okay? So you guys are kind of my Virgos. I'm feeling a lot of Virgo energy here with Mona Lisa coming up, and maybe even some Aquarians as well, with that enigmatic, mysterious, ability to move like an Aquarius does. That's like a watery air energy. They just kind of fade in and fade out, very spirit, oriented. So this is for my Mona Lisa pile. The way I've done these cards today is we're going to start with Nature's True Oracle card first, which is an oracle deck that I created with the artist Gustavo Alba. And it will be available Halloween 2020, so be sure to check out the link below for that. And your card coming out for the energies surrounding you, because I really feel like that is one of the good things that this Nature's True Oracle is good at pinpointing, are kind of those energies surrounding you, like in your environment, that are around you every day. And so much, you've become so comfortable with them that you don't notice them, which is how a lot of us deal with our environment and nature around us. We don't notice it unless something changes, right? Well, something is changing. And for you, the Mourner card is coming in because you have experienced a loss. This can be very personal for some of you. My condolences. I feel like some of you that are watching this reading have lost loved ones in the recent past or maybe even in the far past, that energy is still being carried around today. And Spirit wants to come in and remind you that grief happens to soften you, to soften your heart, to remind you of the transient nature of life, and to not take one moment for granted. I feel like some of you have allowed this heartbreak to really harden your heart, and Spirit is like, oh no, sweetheart, that's not what we wanted for you. We're so sorry. Their time was done. Yep, that's a signal. I smacked the camera. Sorry about that. The Spirit is saying their time was done. Their purpose was finished. And they are happy here on this side. And they want you to know that you still have a purpose. And this loved one is coming to you saying, I'm standing with you. I believe in you. I believed in you in life. I still cheer for you now. Okay, I'm actually hearing I leave feathers for you, and maybe even coins, like coins or feathers. My ancestors do this, my grandparent, and sometimes my loved ones that I have lost in the past do this, just to remind me, hey, Bradley, we're here. You're not alone. You can do this. You got this. So if you've been noticing those type of things, this is really resonating with you. If not, start looking for those things. You might be missing them, right? They're in your environment, but you're just not paying attention because you're so caught up in your own feelings, in that own feelings, and you become too resilient, right? But what Spirit is wanting you to realize is that the reason you're feeling that way is because your heart is so full of love. Your heart is so full of love that you've shut off the valve because it was too much. It was an outpouring of despair or anger or rage or pain, right? It's actually really hard for me to talk about because it's just intense, okay? But you have to feel that. You have to start opening back up to that again and examine it. You can call on the Archangel Azrael for this. He is the kind, gentle angel of death. And he was with your loved ones. He was with you while you were grieving. And he still walks with you if you're still transitioning from that grief into a new way of living, a new way of life, a new dimension where you feel like you're separate. But in this reality, the mourner reminds you that separation is only an illusion. Right? That's why it's so smoky and elusive and deceptive, is because not gone, just enfolded, is what's happening here. So your mantra for autumn is, my heart is full, and express those emotions. Share them with others. Share your heart, because you've been holding it so close that others aren't able to get to see you. It's enigmatic. You're not giving up your mysteries, just like the Mona Lisa. So we're gonna pull some cards. Oh my goodness, everybody is getting Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. The first group got 3 Major Arcana, and so do you. Okay, so we have the Empress at play here. So in the past, you might have lost a mother figure or someone you really looked up to, or a very strong female that was able to get stuff done. The Empress in any tarot deck is kind of like the ultimate queen. She is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. She's all 4 of them put together. She's balanced. She is the Queen of Spirit. She is the spirit of the Queen. Okay, so with the Empress coming through, this may be where this mourning is coming from. You lost something very dear to you, and it sent you into a period where right now you're just reflecting. You're just lost in your own thoughts, in spirituality, and in questioning everything. Guys, I've been there. I've been there. When I lost my aunt, it tore me to my core. Then, before that I had lost my grandfather, and then just recently this year I lost my other grandfather. I don't have any more grandpas. And that settled in kind of tough. It was tough to accept that I don't have that father figure anymore. Because, dads are great, but grandpas are golden because they don't have the same, stresses as fathers do of actually providing for you. They can just teach you and love on you freely. But spirit is wanting to pull you out of this hermit stage, of this cocoon almost that you have wound about yourself. And I feel like you might even be holding the memory of this person so close that you're suffocating it. And you might even be keeping this energy from moving on, keeping this soul from moving forward. And that's why you're constantly grieving, because they're wanting that energy to move on, and it's coming up again and again and again to move through you and move into the next, the next step of existence, the next plane. And it's okay to not be able to let go. It's okay. But you want them to be free, yes? You want them to move on, and you want them to be happy, yes? Because that's all they ever did for you in this life. Well, it's time for you to let them go, because it's time for you to realize this has aged you. This has put a lot of physical pain on you. I mean, like, maybe possibly you're on medication for depression, or you're struggling with back problems, or even anxiety, and heart problems like heart disease. I'm feeling, wow, this is really strong. This is really affecting you. And it's because you're holding onto an energy that does not belong in your energy field. It's time to let it go and see what happens in the near future once you start releasing this and honoring their memory, right? This is what kind of the Empress and the Hermit kind of signify for me, is honor and respect. When you honor and respect their memory and release it instead of trying to hold on to it and constantly worry, are they okay? Yes, they're okay. They're moving forward. They've gone through just a different transition. You have to remember that death, the Fool card reminds us, that every ending is a beginning, and every beginning is an end of something. So the angel of innocence here is reminding us to go back to that space of innocence before loss, before grief. Allow your heart to soften, okay? Soften. That's going to be really important for you. Just allow yourself to soften, okay? Because that might be why so many people, you felt that they might be pushing at you or poking at you and you lash out. It's because Spirit is asking you to soften, to be what this energy was for you, to honor their memory and respect their memory by being the type of person that would make them proud, by honing the characteristics that you adored in them, kindness, empathy, gentleness, giving, loving, all those energies that you think are lacking or gone from the universe because they're not here are inside you. They're seeds that you just have to nourish, okay? And you've been in the hermit mode. You've been in the period right now where you've been the seed buried, okay? But the angels really, really want you to come into a new beginning. It's time to let go. It's time to free yourself, right? Because back to the Four of Wands, this autumn equinox and through the next 90 days from October, November, December, it's really important for you to strive for freedom, to release the ties that bind. And this grief has bound you up so tightly that you've missed opportunities, you've missed abundance, you've missed blessings because you've been holding on so tightly to the past that you weren't fully in the present. But Spirit wants you to start over. Spirit wants you to go back to a place of innocence and remember that we're all connected. Everything is here. Nothing is destroyed or taken away. It just changes. Okay? So find out how this is changing you and how you can change and be someone completely new, because the angel of relaxation is coming to you. And so you might be because of this grief and mourning, you might have been trying to control everyone in your life because you feel like life is out of control without this person. But it's time to let go of desired outcomes and you will get what you want. So that lack that you've experienced, that lack that you've been experiencing, that pain, that void, that hole, that passion that you've been missing, the moment you let go and surrender to this grief and allow yourself to heal, you come into a completely new paradigm, a completely new existence. You find your fire again, and you realize that this is who you were supposed to be all along. And you can step into that and look back and say, you know, grandfather, grandmother, my dear aunt, whatever, whoever this wonderful energy was for you that nurtured you so much, can be proud of you. And they can move on knowing that you've got this. Okay? Because in your grief, they didn't feel like they could leave you. They needed to be there. But it's time to set them free as well as yourself. So we're going to call upon an animal spirit for you as well. And the animal spirit coming through is the hind. Oh, that's crazy. We were talking about deer spirit at the very beginning of the reading. Now, the white hind is very beloved by the Celts. And whenever you saw it, it was thought that a lost loved one, a dear loved soul, you know, that is departed too early or, you know, left before their time, was coming to show you that they're all right. But it is time for this departed loved one to move into the light, to move on to their next step of their journey. And it is also time for you to move forward. But you're going to be moving in opposite directions, okay? So it is going to come with intense feeling. This is why this is so green. Your heart chakra is going to open up and outpour, stuff you've been holding on. I feel like for some of you, this has been for years. For years, it's been holding you back. And these little seeds down here have just been stifled because they haven't gotten to grow. I'm really seeing that once this hind is allowed to move on and trust that you've got this on your own and you step into your own, the seed will finally fall to the ground and become a giant tree that supports you, that guides you, that sustains you and gives you nourishment and shade. And it's going to be like your loved one is there with you, because you'll realize everything they taught you was so that you could do it on your own, was so that you could move in freedom, okay? The wands are all pointing towards freedom. But it is a choice, okay? It is a choice whether you move into that space or not. I'm not forcing you into this. I'm not forcing you to work on this. But, you know, with this coming out and with the Hermit card coming in here, if you have not talked to a psychological professional about this, or perhaps maybe a counselor or even your pastor or someone you trust that, you know, handles grief, you know, a grief counselor, even if it is years, even if you feel like I don't need that, maybe you should. Maybe you should go and talk to someone about this, because I feel like you don't clearly see yourself and you don't understand how much you have been stifled and tied yourself in a bind with this grief, and it's kept you from moving forward. Okay, group 2, because it's very important that we celebrate and grieve the loss of a family member, but then it's also very important that we move forward and figure out what life looks like without them here. That's tough. That's hard to do. It's not the same, but it can be better than you expected if you allow it to. Because remember, in nature, when something passes, it's only making room for something new. And you've been keeping that something new at bay for so long that your soul craves it. Your soul is forcing you to acknowledge this grief, okay? So lastly, we're going to pull a crystal, and this is Nirvana quartz. All right, Nirvana quartz is beautiful because it reminds us that we're constantly connected to the spirit world. So you are gifted. You do dream about this person. You do see them in your dreams. You do communicate with them daily. So you understand that you're connected. But it might be that you haven't fully allowed them to move on out of selfishness. And I'm sorry to say that, but with a 29 coming in, 2 plus 9 equals 11. So that is a master number of 1, 1, 1. So that is a major lesson in life of learning when, Aries energy is very selfish, but not in the way the world we see it. It is very aware of self. It is very understanding of our self-worth, right? And pride and ego. That's the energy of that first sign in the zodiac. So when we talk about numerology, 1 is the same energies. So this is one of those things that you might have been holding on to this person because of your own desires, and something about them made you feel worthy. Okay, so this could be a partner, I'm feeling, someone who really nurtured you and tended to you when you were hurt. But it's time to let them go. It's time to spread your own wings and shift that from holding on selfishly to moving selfishly into the future. And you have to do that shift. Okay, it's essential to grow and move forward for your soul's maturity. Because the bad part of is if you don't get it, the lesson in this life, you will have to come back and relearn it again and again. And I feel like that might be the karma here, why this is an 11. You might have done this in many past lives where you tried to hold on so hard that you forgot to live. You forgot to move forward. We can get bound up in grief. You've all seen that person shopping or out and about going throughout your day that is just bitter, resentful, snaps at everybody, and you just wonder, what happened to you? You're at risk of becoming that person unless you actually let go and move forward and step into your purpose, okay? Instead of settling. Because right now you're settling, and Spirit doesn't want that for you, and neither would your ancestor or this beloved departed loved one. I feel like there are a lot of people that are watching this part of the reading, so it's hard to juggle between, because for some of you it is an ancestor, for some of you it's a partner, for some of you it's an older sibling, that type of energy. It's someone who nurtured you, that really cared about you. It could have even been a teacher. So just know that it's okay to have feelings of grief, but you have to move forward. You've gotten stagnant. And the message from the Divine Masters of Light is everything is eternally now. Okay? Be in this moment. Cherish their memories. That is a form of time travel. Tell people about them. Share stories about this loved one. Keep their memory alive. Honor and respect it, and they shall live eternally. But you have an eternal life too. And your life does not revolve around their loss. Your life is important too. And I would hate to see you grieving over a life not lived, because that's where you're headed if you don't move forward and release this burden, release that pain. It's time. Call upon Lord Asriel. Archangel Azrael, and call upon Father God in this one. Sky Father is coming through very strongly. The Lord, Jehovah Jireh, right? Emmanuel, God is with us. Call upon the God that eases your soul, that takes the place and allows you to weep, allows you to cry it all out, and holds you. Because you've been wanting this spirit to hold you, but they can't. Spirit, the great spirit, the overarching God or goddess can. You can sit and rest for a moment, but it's time to move forward. And lastly, to soften and open back into love all day long. Soften and open back into love all day long. We'll say that one more time. Soften and open back into love all day long. It is so tough to be soft in a hard world, and you've learned that the hard way. But it's time to soften and be gentle with yourself and be honest with yourself so that you can move forward. So thank you, Mona Lisa Smile. We've dug into that mystery a little bit. We understand it a little deeper, and I believe in you. The angels believe in you, and your loved ones believe in you. If you can, call upon your past ancestors that have passed to help you with this transition. They will be with you, I promise, and so will I. I'm sending you all so many blessings. Thank you. Hello, beautiful souls. All right, welcome group 3, or as I am going to call you, Rosemary. Welcome, Rosemary group. So you chose the third pile, which has dried rosemary here. Now, rosemary is an old magic herb. It's mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned in many ancient works of magic, all the way back from the Egyptians to even ancient Asian, Eastern medicine. They use rosemary so much. Shakespeare talked about it, rosemary for remembrance. So this autumnal equinox is about ancient secrets, okay? Ancient wisdom, ancient magics. So something old becoming something new. Because marriage popped in and, something borrowed, something blue, right? So that reminded me of that. And also, rosemary was once considered a feminine herb, but now it is considered a masculine fiery herb. So this also might be starting to transition from, a shift in power, a shift from, maybe being working with a masculine deity to shifting to work with feminine deities, that type of thing. Or vice versa, that you've always worked with feminine deities and shifting to work with masculine. Because, rosemary, the herb itself, the plants and leaves and stems and all that is fire, but I've always associated its smell with air, because science is proving that if you smell rosemary, it helps with memory recall. So it's kind of that air energy around your thoughts. So you might be struggling with remembering things, but I think we have some ancient secrets here coming in about that in just a moment. So we're going to set that rosemary there. Maybe. Okay, so if you've watched any of the other videos, you know where we're going with this one, but this is the Four of Wands that came out as a jumper card for me. And whenever I get a jumper card during readings, it always means the theme, right? Because I haven't asked my intent, I haven't asked my question yet, and the card just jumps out. And so that's Spirit saying, this is the energy of this reading. And so this autumn equinox is bringing freedom to everyone in different areas of their life. This can be globally, personally, career-wise, relationship-wise, self-independence. business independence. So this is all kinds of different independence. So we're going to jump into the cards now to see how this energy of the Four of Wands of freedom is coming into your life specifically. All right, we're going to start with my oracle deck. Here we go. My oracle deck. This is beautiful. All right, so this is from Nature's True Oracle by myself and Gustavo Alba, available Halloween 2020. So be sure to follow the link below for more information about that and ordering information. But this is the crystal ball. So you've been getting the sense that something important is coming, something ancient is coming. You know, maybe you're one of the people that has been waiting for the ascension, waiting for the rapture, or waiting for whatever. You know, some magical prophecy to be fulfilled. And Spirit is saying, not quite yet. It's close. It is coming. That's why you feel it, but not quite yet. So you're shrouded in uncertainty. But it's also starting to materialize, like I'm rubbing my fingers together right now. Like you can almost feel it. You can almost taste it in the air. There's a shift. And you've seen this through possibly prophetic dreams or through scrying or even through use of the crystal ball. So the ones that drew rosemary, I think the reason air and thought and memory were coming in is you need to go back through your journal of some of your visions, dreams, and maybe you have prophecy or maybe you have visions and you write these down. Go back through and you need to see the patterns. Something big is happening here and you're missing it. Okay, that could be what not quite yet means, that you're not quite yet getting it. You're not quite yet getting the picture. So don't take action before you see the whole picture, right? I'm just getting pulled into the crystal ball right now. And I'm seeing an eye. So some of this uncertainty is coming because you feel like people are watching you and they have high expectations of you, right? And you know you're not quite yet ready. So we're going to have to dive into this energy a little more because the 26 is an 8. So I feel like you've been in this energy for quite a while now. It's a pattern for you that you don't take action because you don't feel ready. But it's one of those things of if everyone waited until they were ready to have children or ready to do this or ready to do that perfectly, exactly as they should, nothing would ever get done because our expectations usually outweigh the reality. You know, normally once we get in there and do it, either we're like, oh, well, this is easy, or we learn how to do it as we go, and it's fine. So something is holding you back here. It's either your own uncertainty or spirit telling you it's not quite time. So let's tap into the tarot for you. All right, and let's see what's coming out. We have the 7 of Pentacles. So vision, yes. All right, so yeah, this is definitely about, and you've seen a vision of blessings, okay? And you might be receiving blessings at this time, but you're coming up against challenges. Okay. So here's what's happening, folks. You've got 3 different energies at play here. Your vision for what you think, all right? And then receiving it, but then you realized it had challenges. And your expectation is that if Spirit gave me a vision and if I'm receiving a blessing, it will come without challenges, right? But that's not true. Sometimes you still have to work for it. It's that exchange of energy. And that might not have been that way for you in the past. It might not have been that way for you as you've manifested before. I'm just going to take a second to feel these energies out because I feel like the pattern is important for some of you. This right here is reminding me of the Kabbalah, but it's only half of the tree of life. And then we have an H here. And then okay, I feel like the challenge is coming because someone around you is giving you challenges, is acting as a stumbling block. But it's all part of the bigger plan. Okay, so I haven't done this with any of the other readings, but I'm going to pull a clarifier for this challenges, just to see where the energy is coming from. And it's reversed determination, 9 of Wands, and below that is juggling, the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so subconscious energy for this reading specifically is the 2 of Pentacles. So you've got a lot on your plate, and it's almost as if this blessing that's coming with challenges, you're wanting to let it go, and cut it off because it's not exactly how you thought it would be. Okay, but they're telling me that, okay, so they're telling me to look at this here, okay? So what you're thinking is that you have to either choose this or choose this. But they're saying if you keep determination instead of looking at the challenges and just keep going like a juggernaut, just keep going, and what's the word I'm thinking here? You know, trust in your vision, trust in the blessings that you've received so far as confirmation that this is what you need. Instead of jumping ship and just diverting completely and leaving, you know, others high and dry over here, put your energy towards moving together, okay? Because these are moving together on the same path, and you see how these diverge, okay? So don't diverge, stay on the same path, and use that determination to keep fighting for the vision, okay? Because it's really important. This vision is your freedom. This vision is your ticket to self-autonomy, okay, is what I'm hearing. It's very important that someone is hearing this right now. And you, the reason Rosemary is coming up, I feel like someone, or maybe around you, maybe even like societal opinions, or maybe even your own opinions are holding you back, almost like negativity bouncing. And so that's manifesting as challenges. It's manifesting as, you know, time constraints, not enough supplies, not enough money, all kinds of things, because you're starting to doubt yourself. And the moment you start to doubt yourself, you lose your power and you get out of whack, right? And you lose the vision, you lose the focus, and you just want to walk away. But Spirit is trying to teach you with this crystal ball card to hold the vision, stay focused. You know, that's how you get true magic to work. So we're going to dive into some of these other cards here, but you know, you have a choice to make. It's very important for you to choose the right path, because one leads down a road that we don't know, and one leads directly to your blessings and to the vision that you've been working on, because you're only seeing half the picture right now, right? With this tree of life only coming in half, you're only seeing half the picture. And if you make a decision with just half a picture, it's premature. Okay, so take some time, evaluate, go back to the drawing board, you know, meditate on your vision, pour positive energy into it. And with Rosemary coming up, definitely, you know, practice protection. Put a shield around you, put a shield around your business, put a shield around your dream and your vision. Protect that vision at all costs. Protect that vision at all costs, okay? Because, yes, because what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. So the goddess of shadows has been working with you, kind of tempting you away from your vision, trying to lead you astray. That's what the serpent does. It's kind of a trickster energy, but it is also the energy of transformation and choices. So this is kind of like a primordial ancient choice of, will you choose to do the divine will, or will you choose self-will? And so you're working on, am I going to choose the enlightened version of my life, or do I want to just live a physical material life where I'm successful and stuff, but I might not ever be fulfilled? Like, I might be happy, but I'm not fulfilled. So it's realizing that fulfillment and happiness are not mutually exclusive. Sometimes fulfillment requires work, just like a fulfilling relationship, a long-lasting relationship requires work and honesty and integrity, talking through issues, working through problems, working together instead of just jumping out of it. So that's why the goddess of shadows is coming in, because she is reflecting to you what you're doing. And so you're seeing it and getting scared and wanting to run away, right? But the goddess of shadow is here to help you understand what is truly happening. She is a mirror. So look at the mirror and realize that the challenges that are happening are not from outside circumstances. You are manifesting them. You're the manifester. Find your freedom here. Take your power back. So if you don't like what's being manifested, shift it. And an animal spirit that can help you with that is the boar. Okay, the boar is a very strong spirit. A lot of ancient cultures were terrified of the boar because it has tusks, it is feral, and it is vicious, especially if it is a mama boar with, her babies. She's been worshipped since ancient times, and she could take down warriors. So if you feel like there are any external circumstances that are affecting you or keeping you from your mission or keeping you from moving forward, or heaven forbid, even like cursing or hexing energies, like if you have that feeling, call upon boar energy. Their hide is impenetrable from arrows and stuff. You had to literally stand in front of it and wait until it jumped and stabbed the underbelly. So like its side is impenetrable. Its tusks will tear things apart, armor and everything, right? So it was terrifying. I mean, with the advent of guns, it was a little different, but magic-wise, she's impenetrable. Or he's impenetrable, however you see it. I'm also seeing dandelions here. So dandelion root is that call upon boar spirit to protect your wish, protect your vision, right? Because dandelions always grow to the seed, the little seed pockets, and then we blow on them for a wish. So you've made your wish, and it is here, it is manifesting, but you're coming up against challenges. Well, boar is coming in to remind you, protect this. Protect this vision at all cost. It is literally your way out. It is literally your purpose. And it's important that you remember that and see that. And a crystal for you to use, citrine. Okay, so this is definitely some sort of a business venture, something to do with money and luck. And something you're creating. So it could be like an artist, and maybe the challenges you're coming up on are your own, criticisms of I'm not good enough to enter, that a gallery, but in reality you are, you're good enough, because the 1 and the 8 is coming through here for me, and that is completion. Okay, so you're in a period where you need to fulfill it. Like you're almost to the finish line. It's almost time to celebrate and take your victory. So carry some citrine around to give you some more energy, to maybe even shift your focus back to creativity over worries, and move into an energy of moving from the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, of remembering that juicy joy you felt whenever you first got your vision, right? A lot of practitioners of woo-woo know this, just get into that juicy joy of creation, right? You might even want to eat some grapefruits or oranges or lemons, citrus fruits. Citrus oils would probably be really good for you now, and maybe even wearing the color orange. So as autumn comes up, orange is going to be very protective for you and help you. I'm even seeing a jack-o'-lantern. Okay, so with the boar and this mask here, maybe you need to make a jack-o'-lantern and put it outside early, and let people wonder. Make more than one. You know, you have it in your budget to buy a cheap pumpkin, go get a jack-o'-lantern. And that's going to help ward off some of the negativity. I'm really feeling that with this citrine thing. The reason you can feel the negativity is because you're taking it too seriously. You're giving it more power than it deserves. And that's how dark magic works. Dark magic's power doesn't come from the practitioner. The dark magic power comes from you giving it power and believing it has power. So the moment you take your power back and stand in that hidden treasure, stand in your vision, stand in your truth, right? The darkness dissipates because you become the light. And if you're shining light, darkness can't touch you, okay? So return back to your center. And right before our last card, we're going to look at a message from Initiation by Fire. This is a message from the Ascended Masters and Lightworkers of the world, just reminding you that you are being forged. You are in the crucible right now, being melted down to your purest, unadulterated essence. And it is painful. It is hot. It is uncomfortable, and it is very arduous, okay? But it is essential for your enlightenment. It is essential because you are learning how to transmute and how to change something challenging coming in into a blessing. And that is 22, one of the master numbers of working with others, working together. So you may have a partner in this dream. You may not be dreaming it alone, or you may be doing this on your own, but Spirit is saying to call upon your guides. They are here with you. You have a spiritual team on the other side who always supports you, and to remember how protected you are. The only thing that can get through this circle is what you let through, and you're letting challenges in. So it's like an energy of self-sabotage. All right. And lastly, one more message before we go. Enjoy the process instead of always looking for the result. So enjoy the process instead of always looking for the result. You might not like doing the hard work. You might want to be done and completed and show everybody your project. But right now, you still have a little bit of work to do. Final touches, putting it on there. Like I said, you're at the finish line. You're almost there. You know, that's what the Nine of Wands really signifies, is you're almost home. You've almost made it. And you've been doing a lot of work, but, you know, and you may be tired, but it's going to take determination. So enjoy the process with determination instead of always looking for the result. Thank you all so much for letting me read for you. Don't forget to check the links down below and like and subscribe and hit that bell notification for whenever I post new videos. I hope you all have a beautiful autumn season. I'm going to try and start doing more videos more and more as we get closer to Halloween, so I'm excited about that. I'm sending you all many blessings. Thank you for letting me have the honor of reading for you. Blessings. Bye.